I'm Sophia A. Jackson, and I'm the editor and founder of Aphrodisiac Theatre News. And today I'm joined by
Whitney White, the writer and composer and actor in All Is But Fantasy at the RSC.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You've combined your love of music and Shakespeare and are making your debut at the RSC, the Royal Shakespeare Company, with All Is But Fantasy as the writer, director, and composer. That is a lot of hats, and congratulations on being able to manage them all. How do you write, direct, and compose your own play? Can you break that process down for us?
Definitely. I think it's funny when you hear all the titles, it seems like a very strange thing to do, but I grew up in bands playing music and also in an apostolic church in Chicago. And the idea of being in a band is kind of that's how I think about it when I'm wearing these different hats. Because when you're in a band with a group of musicians, sometimes the bass player writes songs, sometimes the guitarist writes songs. And then when those people write songs, they have to step up and be the leader. And so the band has people who wear different hats. I also trained in an acting program at Brown University in which this was very common. You would often be in shows that your classmates would write. You would be directed by your classmates. You would put them in your plays. My acting teacher, who's was the head of acting at the time, Brian McElhaney, is a writer, director, performer. So it was never weird to me, the idea that someone has different hats. And also being a woman, that's my experience of womanhood. I'm a sister, I'm a mother, I'm all these things. But usually the music comes first when I'm creating. Like I hear the music and I sit down and I write a song. And then I have to look at the song and be like, wait, does that make sense? And then the writer comes along and then can I perform that? And the directing is last. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think my process always starts with music.
And how are you now that you're coming through the other side of the process? And how long has that process been from when you wrote it to now you're at the RSC?
Oh, goodness. It's been written in stages. So there are bits of the play that people will see that I first performed as a third-year graduate student in 2015.
Okay.
And since 2015, I've just been growing it bit by bit by bit by bits. And then I'd say the past 3 years, everything really revved up. And it's been the past 3 years that this show that you're all going to see really came together. But the beginnings of it started a long time ago. I used to tell people, for Lady Macbeth, I performed parts of that show in bars, in barns, at theaters all across America. So she's been on a big journey. But, the characters of Richard III and Juliet, they're making their debut here, and Emilia. So there's a lot of things no one's seen before that are coming together right now.
And was it always the dream that you would have this play on at the Royal Shakespeare Company?
I mean, I never thought it would actually happen. But yeah, I'm a Shakespeare nerd. The legends who have passed through this building. I mean, Patsy Rodenberg, who's in the community here, her book transformed my work as a director, writer, artist, singer, and has been I carry it with me like a Bible. And Emma Smith, who's working on the show as a consultant and dramaturg, I used to listen to her podcasts her podcast appearances when I was making the show. And now I'm in dialogue with her.
Yeah.
That's my stage manager.
I love this.
So you guys are catching me right now in tech. And we're going to get in the costumes in 15, 20 minutes to working on Juliet. But yeah, I think it was always a dream to be able to come to Shakespeare's home and learn even more about the work. There's a lot of scholarship that went into this, and I've been able to do that here. So it's been wonderful.
How exciting is it being in Stratford in itself?
I don't want everyone out there to know what a nerd I am, but I did. I wept at Shakespeare's grave. I did. I feel like the attendants that worked there, they were like, "Is she okay?" I just stood over the grave and I was like,
Oh, that's actually really lovely, though.
It was so embarrassing, but I think there's something so incredible that these stories can last this long. The legacy of that There was a Macbeth on right before we started. Theater makers were all connected through the stories that we do. So there's something very special about being at the birthplace of something I've been working on for, so many years.
And of the plays that you've chosen, are they your favorite Shakespeare plays?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And that's part of the project. Why are those my favorite plays? The ones in
Yeah.
which the women don't make it to the end. That's an odd thing.
Mm.
And they're not just my favorite plays. Macbeth and Othello are like some of the most produced plays on both sides of the Atlantic, both in school programs from high school and up to the professional stage. Like I said, there was just a Macbeth on, there was just an Othello with Denzel Washington, there was another Othello in London.
Yeah.
So we're very into these stories, but what does that mean if we're into these stories in which the women don't make it to the end?
That's very
And
true.
if you're a Black woman in these worlds, it's very often that Amelia is Black. It's very often that a Lady Macbeth can be Black, right? Ruth Negga played it. What does that mean? Why are we suited for those roles and not some other ones? It's very interesting. And when you start picking at all that stuff, a lot of things come up.
And there's a lot going on there. And what do you think Shakespeare himself would make of this adaptation?
Ooh, well, I hope, like any writer, he would be happy that someone's producing his plays.
Yeah, first of all.
But I also try and think that, hey, when he was writing these plays, he was writing in his contemporary time. He wasn't doing theater in the style of performance done in 1300, right? He was doing the freshest thing he thought he could do, I think, then, I hope. And so I hope that he would be inspired by the fact that we're doing the same thing.
Thank you. And how's tech going?
Oh, it's wonderful. My show features a live band on stage the entire time, an incredible ensemble of actors, and every day I'm watching them do impossible things. This cast of performers is doing a 4-hour musical adaptation series, So I'm always trying to tell people, don't come for me, come for them, because some of the things that everyone else is doing on stage are just so incredible.
And what's their take on it? Has anyone done anything similar to this before, or is this?
I don't think none of us have ever done any, because no one's doing this. No one's centering women in stories for 4 hours, and I think for all of us, it's like kind of Olympic, and we're just trying to see, can we even do it? It's a big provocation. It's a big experiment in storytelling. So I think we're all kind of holding on by the seat of our pants, just trying to see how to grapple with all the material.
And is it tiring then? It feels like quite an intense process. So how do you manage energy levels?
It's interesting because the RSC has done 4-hour plays before. You just don't usually get 4 for the price of 1. And I think the political questions at the heart of the piece give me energy every time. What does it mean to be a Black woman on stage in these narratives? Mm-hmm. What does it mean for women at large to be living in a world where these narratives float over their heads, right? Like Juliet syndrome, the star-crossed lover, Lady Macbeth syndrome, the evil businesswoman. Like, you and I are contending with those archetypes. And whether we want to or not, the world places us in those archetypes. Yeah. And so whenever I just dip down into that, like why I'm doing it, then it's so exciting and worthwhile,
Thank you. And how does it compare Broadway stages to the UK theatre scene?
My goodness.
They're not similar in any way, are they really?
Well, I think what's similar is we all love to make theater, and that love forces us to do crazy things, like do a 4-hour musical. And I think what's the same on both sides of the Atlantic is just the passion and love of the craft. We all believe in what we're doing and we want to do it. And every night when you get out there with a live audience, that's why you're doing it. You're doing it for them. Mm-hmm. So I think there's the kinship there between the two. But I mean, no one has the history of the RSC, I met Judi Dench and Ian McKellen on like a break one day. And I had to pull myself together. You know what I'm saying? Like their production of Macbeth, I've watched it 5 times.
Did you tell them?
they were having lunch, because they were doing an interview with the other cast of Macbeth. No, I didn't tell them that. I was too busy freaking out and trying to keep my wig on, like.
Yeah. And
So that's pretty rare.
we have our quick fire range.
Okay.
You can't spend too much thinking about it.
Okay.
So first question is the person you would like to see at press night, dead, alive, or fictional?
Uh, Michelle Obama. I wish she could come to press night.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the material deals with ambition and love, and she's deeply inspirational for how she's publicly dealt with both. Next one.
Thank you. The first time that you went to the theatre and who took you?
Oh, the artistic directors brought me to the theater, and we went into this rehearsal room. And Bruce, the head of music, and I'm trying not to be too emotional and American, but I was very moved. You feel the energy of all the people who've worked here, and it's kind of a magical thing.
Thank you. What was the last play that you saw?
Macbeth here. I loved
Obviously.
It was incredible. I squealed like a baby. I don't want to give it all away, but it was very good. It was so good. It was set in a bar, and it was very soulful and well done.
Okay, thank you. Can you give a shout out to the person in this industry who has had the biggest impact on your career?
Shout out to Lynn Nottage. She's a playwright, two-time Pulitzer Award-winning playwright who also has been a sister and friend, and her work is incredible. And you've seen her work here on London stages, and she's everything.
Thank you. And finally, why should we come and see All Is But Fantasy?
Because you're going to have a good time. It's for you to see. It's not a play that's meant to be over your head. It's a play for the audience to leave with a dialogue and to hear some really good music. So I think that the play is made for you in this way. So that's why you should come see it.
And thank you. And actually, this is the final question. What is a tip that you would give to a newbie in the industry?
Every no is an opportunity.
Okay.
I can't say how many times someone told me I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. I probably started writing this show because someone told me I couldn't play this, I couldn't play that. Every time someone tells you no, just find a different window. That's it.
Okay. Thank you so much.